Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Me and my team, we do everything we can to bring you balanced news, to bring you both sides of the story. And yesterday I covered essentially what was an article talking about the president's tax returns and how there was some how there was some interesting news in the tax returns. In today's video, I'm going to give you the response from the president. I'm going to talk to you about what depreciation actually means and why depreciation is perfectly legal. It's something that real estate investors do all over the country. I do depreciation, and I'll also show you an interview with Donald Trump Jr., the president's son. And so I want to cover both sides of the story. Once again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream, and I want you, my viewers and subscribers, to live the American dream. For me and my team, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm American. I really value and appreciate all my subscribers, and shout out to JT, shout out to Michael Dack, shout out to Leslie, shout out to Truth Fears Guilty. I have a nickname which is TGIF. Shout out to Susie, shout out to Angel. I appreciate all of you, and if there's one thing all of us have in common, we may not agree on on which side we're on. And honestly to me, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to me whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. It actually doesn't matter whether you're a supporter of President Trump or whether you're a supporter of Joe Biden. What I know 100% is that you want what's best for the country, and so do I. For me, it's as simple as that. When I report the news, it's, for me, the presidency is more important than the president. For me, whenever I decide whether I want to cover something, I ask myself, what if I was to, let's say it wasn't President Trump, let's say it was, I don't know, President Robinson. And then I ask myself, would I want to talk about it intelligently? Would I want to report it on my channel? And that's the lens that I try and use when I try and report the news. Will I always be successful? No, because there's always two sides to every argument. In this video, I want to give you the response from the president. In fact, let's take a look at the tweets from the president on your screen right now. The president said, and I quote, let's see, the fake news media, just like election time 2016, is bringing up my taxes and all sorts of other nonsense with illegally obtained information and only bad intent. So the president is saying that the information obtained by the outlet that published this news was obtained illegally and only bad intent. These are the words of the President of the United States. Again, for me, I'm always going to respect the presidency. For me, that's important. You've seen me, I'm always going to talk about Speaker Pelosi as House Speaker Pelosi. You never hear me saying, Trump this, Pelosi that, Schumer that, because I want to speak about all our elected officials with respect at all times. And I think that we should all, do what we can to respect our elected officials regardless of how we feel, because I know this is a very passionate subject. I can tell you what I would do. So the president said, and all sorts of other nonsense with illegally obtained information, only bad intent. I paid many millions of dollars in taxes, but was entitled, like everyone else, to depreciation and tax credits. Also, if you look at the extraordinary assets owned by me, which the fake news hasn't, I am extremely under-leveraged. I have very little debt compared to the value of assets. Much of this information is already on file, but I have long said that I may release financial statements from the time I announced I was going to run for president, showing all properties, assets, and debts. It is a very impressive statement and also shows that I'm the only president on record to give up my nearly $400,000 plus presidential salary. So this is the response from the President of the United States. And also, the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., was actually interviewed on Fox, and the president's son did have some comments about this entire situation, because we can be sure that this situation is going to be discussed in the presidential debate, which is the first debate is going to happen in just over 24 hours from the time I'm recording this video. This entire topic of conversation is going to come up quite a bit. And the fact is, I just want to be clear, the rich do pay less taxes than the poor and the middle class in our country. It's just a fact. I'll also give you an example of depreciation, and I'll break down depreciation a little bit more detail in future videos on our channel. And I want my viewers, my subscribers, to understand the legal power of depreciation. So hopefully you can use it to your benefit. And I'll be talking about that in future videos on our channel as well. But first, let's take a look at Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, and what he had to say about this new report of the president's tax returns so that you can hear from both sides. For me, I'm going to present you with both sides as best as I can. If there's something specifically that you want to see reported, please type it out in the comment section below. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And you can sense my love for our country. And I know that you love our country. So for me, it's about trying to be aware, trying to be respectful, trying to be sensitive of both sides. I'm doing my best, and I ask you to do your best as well. Let's look at Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, and let's take a look at his opinion on this news about the president's tax returns. Let's roll the tape.
Let's go talk about
one's saying
what
that
happened
because
yesterday.
no one believes it.
Yeah. Hey, Don, yesterday about 5 o'clock or maybe a little bit later, word came out the New York Times got your last 20 years of tax returns. I mean, the Trump organization. And one of the revelations is according to the New York Times, the president only spent $750, paid $750 in taxes. And one of the other things, and it goes on and on for days, but you guys as an organization have $300 million in loans due in the next 3 years. What could you tell us about that story?
Listen, it's ridiculous. My father's paid tens of millions of taxes. If he does things in certain years where you get depreciation, where you get write-off, where you get historical tax credits like we did when we took on the risk of building the old post office in D.C. It's the perfect example. That was literally a government contract. We bid against every hotel company in the world. Historical tax credits that you use to offset tax payments for taking the risk to build that. That was done under the Obama administration. It literally took an act of Congress to get it done. So with that comes historical tax credits. That's the reality. People don't understand what goes into a business. It doesn't include property taxes. It doesn't include payroll taxes. It doesn't include real estate taxes. It doesn't include so many of the things that he's been paying taxes on forever, as he's also putting thousands and thousands of people to work on an annual basis. But of course, the New York Times does this. They put out a selective, picture of all of these things the day before a debate to try to give someone like Joe Biden, an attack line. They come up with one or two catchy sound bites, and that's the game. We've seen it. We saw it 2 weeks ago with the debunked claim about the military. We've seen it for 4 years about the Russia hoax. If only they spent as much time looking for maybe, Hunter Biden's tax returns and the Biden crime family issues, where Hunter's taking money from a known associate of Vladimir Putin, $3.5 million, and no one has any interest. Money that's linked to human trafficking and prostitution rings in Eastern Europe. Think about that. Brian, imagine I did that. Imagine the story it would be. So the Kremlin, direct ties to Vladimir Putin, has influence over Hunter Biden. You don't think that's the collusion that they were worried about with Donald Trump? You don't think it's right there with the Biden family? And we don't even have to get into Ukraine and $1.5 billion from China. But again, that's the problem. That's the lens by which the media looks at anything that they can try to spin about Donald Trump, who's actually created jobs, who's actually created business, who hasn't just talked about it for 50 years like Joe Biden, but not actually achieved anything. That's the difference.
No doubt the taxes will come up tomorrow night at the debate.
So there you have it, everybody. That was a response from Donald Trump Jr., the president's son. Now, I want to let my viewers and subscribers know what depreciation actually is and how it can actually help those who own properties, how it can help real estate property owners. In fact, the ironic thing is I just got a call literally less than 5 minutes ago from one of the managers of one of my properties letting me know that a sewer line outside one of my homes needed to be replaced. I swear I couldn't make this up even if I wanted to. This literally happened 2 minutes before I'm recording this segment for this video. And I was told that it would cost quite a lot of money to get the sewer line replaced, and I gave my go ahead. And that the cost to replace the sewer line outside one of my homes is going to be a deduction for me. It's going to be something I can write off against the income coming from the rent for that particular property, and you can do that. But depreciation is a completely different item. You can depreciate a portion of the asset that you own on your tax returns, because the home technically, according to the IRS, loses value over a period of time. Now, if you want me to cover this in a bit more detail, by convention, most US residential real estate is depreciated at a rate of 3.6 3.636% each year for 27 and a half years. That's 3.636%. So that means over 27 and a half years, you depreciate 100% of the property value. So hypothetically, let's say I owned a home that cost me $150,000, but the value of the property, because again, you can depreciate the value of the building, not the land itself, because the land doesn't depreciate in value. So let's say I bought a home for $150,000 and the land cost $30,000 and the home cost $120,000. I can depreciate that $120,000 over 27 and a half years completely. So on paper, I'm losing value even if the rents associated with that property continue to go up, even if the value of that property goes up, because presumably the building is going to lose value. And buildings do lose value because, walls need to be replaced, roofs need to be replaced, ACs, heaters, stoves need to be replaced, dishwashers need to be replaced, and so on and so forth. So let me know if you want me to cover depreciation in a little bit more detail. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time, most days of the week. Thank you so much for watching. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications if you learn anything new from this video. Follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. You'll get exclusive content on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. You'll get exclusive real-time alerts on Twitter. Sometimes YouTube does not send out notifications, so make sure you bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way, you can visit the homepage of our channel and you can watch our videos. You don't have to wait for notifications. Speaking of notifications, get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or time to 70,000. That's 70000. You can get on our SMS list. You can opt out of the SMSs at any time. You can also get on our email list. Go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts to get on our email list. You can opt out of the SMS list or the email list at any time. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thanks. Bye.